This is 1D part 6. In this section you're asked to make some changes to the styles and show evidence of those changes that have been made. So what we're going to do before we do anything is we're going to make a backup copy of our style sheet. So I'm just going to paste that now and we'll call that original so that we don't get confused, and we can always then revert to that if we need to go back and do some printing, and particularly when it comes to doing the form we need to go back to that one, and all we'll do is we'll change this one to new and change that one back to sheepsquare.css. So it's a case of making those changes to the style sheet. So if we click on our style sheet, and that's not going to go right, is it? So we've got a bit of an error message there. So let's just open up the index page and try again. There we go, it's all working now. And we'll work through the things that we need to do. So we'll start with the main area. Okay, and what I'm doing is I'm highlighting stuff off as I go along. So in the main area, we're asked to change the background to be blue. So I'm going to use the same blue that we used in the navigation area. So I'll click on OK. And we can now see that has changed that background to blue. Actually, that wasn't the same shade of blue. So we'll try it, the darker one, shall we? Or is it this? I think it's this one here. There we go. Okay, and that's changed. So that's the first thing. So we've done that. Blue background and yellow text. So now we'll go to the text and we'll change that to be yellow. And we want to use the one where it says yellow. There we go. And we can see that bit's been done. Now it asks us to do the same, okay, for the title area. So we'll go to the title area. We'll change our text to be yellow. Now at the moment, of course, we can't actually see anything because our background needs to be changed to be blue. So again, we'll use the same blue as before. And there we go, we've changed that. It then says we need to look at the hyperlinks area. So let's have a look at the hyperlinks area. And it says it wants that to have a yellow background. We're in background already. So let's change that, use the same yellow that we used previously. There we go, that's done. And it says that we need to have legible hyperlinks. Now, here's an issue. Because we created the A link and A visited and made them white, you can see they've gone to white. Now, one way of doing this would be to change the font color here to be something like blue or black, or we could just delete those and then it will default to the usual blue and purple, which will sit on a yellow background. So we also need to change the font to Times New Roman. So what we're going to do is we'll start with the main one and we'll go to text and change that there to be Times New Roman. Bit fiddly this, we'll get there in the end. And anywhere else where we've used it as well, it was also used in hyperlinks. So we need to go to the hyperlinks area and again change that to be Times New Roman. And we can see it happening live here, and we see it also needs doing in the title area. So again, we'll change that to be Times New Roman, and then we should be done. If we click on General, we can go through and just check everything again. So we can see Times New Roman has been used, and we can check all of these other things. Click on OK. So now that we've done that, we'll now have a new CSS file. So what I'm going to do, before we do is say, it has saved it, that's fine. So we're going to open this. I use Notepad++, which isn't showing at the moment, so I'll just use Notepad for now, which is there. We'll change our view film format to wrap around, and this is why I prefer Notepad++. So we'll try again, open with WordPad. There we go, that's better. I can now copy and paste that, and then I need to annotate the changes. So here's the way to annotate them. Just simply identify the changes that you made. So here's the 3 Times New Roman changes. Here's the background color change and a font change, and the same here and the same here. Also mention why you've removed a link and a visited. Now again, look at the questions paper and highlight again everything, or cross it out or underline it, to make sure that you have covered every single change in your annotation. If you miss just one of them, unfortunately you can't get any marks. It's cool, but it's a way that we have to work with, I'm afraid. So that's that part done. That's the end of 1D completely.